Hello Internet, it is me, the E-Man. So you've probably heard about the massive Last of Us 2 story and gameplay leaks that came out 2 days ago. And while on its own, having the majority of a game's story spoiled a whole 2 months before its release is a very big deal, somehow, as the days go by, this whole event is just progressively becoming more and more of a spectacular dumpster fire, for several reasons. Now, as entertaining as these events have been to watch over the last couple days, I just want to emphasize that I have no personal stake in this. I was not anticipating the release of The Last of Us 2. I wasn't going to pre-order it, certainly. I probably wouldn't get it for a couple years, and even then I would buy it used, so they're not going to lose my money, that's for sure. Generally, I don't care about spoilers. I don't really mind knowing how a story ends before I experience it. For me, it's about experiencing it. And, in fact, I've never even played The Last of Us 1. I have both copies here from thrift stores, and I know how it ends already. I know the twist with the doctors and everything. And that's not going to stop me from playing it this summer, because it's supposedly a good game, so I want to play it. That being said, I have looked at the leaks, which I'm not going to copy in this video because I don't actually want to post spoilers or anything. But what I will say is yikes. Big yikes. It looks awful. It looks just really bad. Knowing what I know about the game without actually playing it, I can say I did not expect them to go that route. That's for sure. Wow. You know, I think you could make up stuff and it would sound more believable than what's actually been leaked. Like, the fungus was created by aliens. And you know what? That's just as believable, honestly. But what's been really interesting is how the internet has reacted to these leaks. So that's what I want to take a bit of a quick look at in this video. Now, the first kind of big reaction that happened on day one of the leak was on Twitter. There was a ton of tweets that said stuff like, just saw the leak, it looks awful, I'm not going to buy the game anymore. Or, I'm going to cancel my pre-order. One of the two. There was a running gag about how, don't worry guys, The Last of Us 2 came out yesterday, now none of us have to buy it. And this makes perfect sense. People saw the leak, it looked awful, or it wasn't what they were hoping for or expecting, so of course they're angry, they're not going to buy the game. Now, I am skeptical as to how much this is actually going to negatively affect the sales of the game. I think it definitely will. I'm sure the sales won't be as good as they would have been if the leak hadn't happened, but I feel for the most part, the dedicated fans that have been waiting for the game and that have pre-orders, they're probably just going to avoid the spoilers and buy the game anyway. I know that's what my friend Chuck, who's been looking forward to the game for over a year now, that's what he's planning on doing. Now, definitely some of the people saying, oh, I'm not going to buy the game anymore, or I'm canceling my pre-order, definitely are, and that is lost revenue. But I feel like a lot of the people saying that, in most situations, are people that probably weren't going to buy the game right away anyway, or were going to wait to buy it used, in which case the company doesn't get the money anyway. I feel like what's probably way more detrimental is just the massive amount of goodwill that's been lost towards Naughty Dog. People are angry, and people are going to remember this. So I think that's the main problem here. Now, after that, what came immediately next was, of course, the memes, because it's always the memes. Take this one, for example, is very popular. Very nice meme. Love the Chad meme. Perfection. But this brings me into an interesting point, is that we don't actually know who's behind the leak. Allegedly, because nothing's proven, it was a scorned employee who was underpaid and went through some serious crunch at the end and was fired, so he was behind the leak. Well, what I find interesting is the internet is hailing him as a hero. They're not damning him for what he did, which was honestly probably very destructive to his career. I'm sure Naughty Dog knows who is behind it. I mean, there's only so many people it could be, right? So man, that guy or woman probably just freaking tanked their career. But the internet seems to think it was worth it. They're hailing him as a hero. And I guess rightfully so, because he told them how awful the game is going to be as far as they're concerned. So he saved them $60 or $80. Now, Naughty Dog's reaction was actually kind of interesting, because the first thing they did was immediately announce the game's new release date, June 19th, and then it took them a couple hours before they actually had a statement, and here's their official statement. We know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. You know, that part I agree with. Don't spoil it for others. That's just being a jerk. Look it up if you want, but don't ruin it for other people. The Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see and hear, the final experience will be worth it. Now, to me, this is very reminiscent of the tweet by the Joel voice actor that said, like, you might hear some rumors in the next few days, but I want you to go into the game with an open mind. Kind of feels like the same energy, honestly. Personally, I would say it's not going to be worth the wait. Look, my opinion is honestly, if you liked the first game, and specifically the story of the first game, I think the sequel is going to be disappointing to you. But then again, what do I know? I didn't play the first game. I just know what happens in it. And I'm not even wearing pants right now. So, like, do you honestly want to take my opinion on this? But anyway, I digress. So Naughty Dog's response to the whole situation was basically, this sucks, we're angry about it, please God don't look at anything, still buy the game, it's going to be great, trust us, alright? Which is a fair response, honestly. I don't have any problems with it, it's harmless, they don't really address anything, and probably that's a good thing for them anyway. But then Neil Druckmann, the VP of Naughty Dog, he started posting some stuff on his own accounts. He reposted a Kurt Cobain quote about, if you're homophobic, don't buy our stuff. And that has to do, not to make any spoilers, but there's like some serious LGBTQ plus themes that have been revealed to be in The Last of Us 2, including some serious trans themes and depictions, which the trans community is not happy about. They definitely do not like how they're being depicted, which is interesting because clearly they were trying to be, very inclusive, maybe even pander a little. Let's face it, pander a lot, and it's not going over well. Which is always just kind of spectacular to watch when they try to do something representative to a minority and it backfires horribly. So that's kind of what's happening. And it does appear that Neil Druckmann is taking the opinion of, if you don't like what you see, don't buy it. Oh, also, Sir Eggs-a-Lot sent me this meme, and it's not super relevant to what's going on, but I just thought it was funny, honestly. Yeah, so I don't really want to post any of the tweets that are out there about the transgender aspect of The Last of Us 2, because almost all of those tweets contain fairly major spoilers, so search at your own risk. But if you just search up on Twitter, The Last of Us Part 2 and trans, you'll find them, and yikes. There's some serious yikes if you do that. Honestly, I'm really surprised at just how badly Naughty Dog has seemed to have handled the LGBTQ plus themes in The Last of Us 2, because in my opinion anyway, in the prequel DLC to The Last of Us, Ellie being revealed as a lesbian was handled very well. It was quite naturalistic. It wasn't like a huge in-your-face kind of statement. It was just, she's a lesbian. It worked, But what they're doing in the sequel just, it seems kind of distasteful, honestly. I think that's the best word for it, distasteful. Oh, and also, since the whole reason for the leak happening is apparently due to an employee dealing with end-of-development crunch, Jason Schreier made a tweet about it because, end-of-development crunch is kind of his thing, and basically he just said, crunch is bad, but leaks are bad, and dealing with crunch doesn't give you the right to make a leak. I was kind of surprised that he said that, actually. I thought Jason Schreier would be more okay with leaks, but, apparently not. I think what probably surprised me the most out of this whole situation is that Sony hasn't stepped up and tried to really squash this thing. Because I know they did earlier this April, like April 4th, a couple fairly inconsequential in comparison leaks on The Last of Us 2 came out, like some horse riding gameplay or something, I don't know. Anyway, Sony stepped up and really stepped on that, got some videos deleted, tried to have some posts removed and stuff. But they don't really seem to be doing that now. I think probably it's just too big. And it's just too widely available. They can't really do anything about it. So they're just kind of ignoring it. So yeah, that's about it. That's everything major that's going on with this situation. I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty details of the leak itself, because I'm trying to keep the video as spoiler-free as possible. It's also why I've avoided posting a lot of memes or Twitter screenshots. But it's all widely available online, so feel free to look it up for yourself if you're like me and you don't care about spoilers. Overall, I don't really care at all about this situation. It doesn't affect me. It's not really a game I was looking forward to, but it has been kind of entertaining to watch the whole dumpster fire. And honestly, I'm just way more excited about the Destroy All Humans trailer that dropped yesterday. That game looks freaking sweet.
Now I'm gonna get my suit dirty.
And also, Total War Shogun 2 is free on Steam right now. So, go download that. It's a cool game. Anyway, I hope that you found this video at least interesting, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again on whatever I decide to do next real soon. Goodbye!